That guy right there, Congressman Charlie Rangel, is taking his personal ethics battle all the way to trial now. But not all Democrats have the veteran politician's back. In fact, already 11 House Democrats, these right here, are calling for his resignation. And that list is growing. And right now we are joined by that guy in that picture right there, New Jersey Congressman John Adler, a Democrat. He's one of 11 House Democrats calling for Charlie Rangel to step down. He joins us from Philly. Congressman, good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you very much. Not doing, not doing as well as I'm sure Charlie Rangel when he heard, hey, wait a minute, 11 Democrats are squared off against me? That's not good.
Well, I'm not sure people are squaring off against him. At least from my district, I was elected to help deal with the big problems facing our country, and we have very big problems. And I think anything that makes us spend time distracted with ethics trials really doesn't help us deal with these mounting deficits, spending out of control, and a private sector economy that's very, very much struggling right now. So I had 2 town hall meetings this weekend. People were talking about deficits, about spending, and about jobs, creating private sector jobs. And if we're spending time on ethics stuff, we're not spending time helping our nation.
Sure. When I say squared off, what I'm talking about is Charlie Rangel says, hey, wait a minute, maybe I made some mistakes, but I shouldn't have to go. You, on the other hand, say he should go. Why?
Well, we're going to come back in September. I think there are things this Congress can still accomplish to free up the private sector to grow the way it's supposed to grow in capitalism, to protect our national security, to deal with the issues we really have to deal with, and not put them off till after this election and put things off the way Congresses tend to do. I think if we're spending time doing ethics stuff, some trial, we're not spending time helping the nation in what really matters most.
Congressman, are you worried about what Charlie Rangel has done, or are you worried about the midterm elections and perhaps your future in the U.S. House of Representatives?
Well, of course, I do worry about ethics for any member of Congress of either party. That's very important. We have an obligation to meet a higher standard of conduct as members of Congress, to inspire people, not to discourage them so much about government. So that's a big deal to me. But when I talk to people throughout my district, they're in pain right now about the future of our country. They want to have jobs available, they want to have businesses thriving, and they want to deal with deficits, not a generation from now where my 4 kids have to pay for things, but start right now paying down debt so we can live within our means the way families do.
So speaking of jobs, you're saying that Charlie Rangel should leave his job and save the country a headache, essentially.
I do, and I'm not suggesting that people have prejudged what happens with this ethics trial. We have a great system of due process in our country. It's really one of the foundations of our rule of law in our country. I respect that process. I think right now Congress shouldn't be distracted from ethics trials. It should be holding itself to a high standard of ethics, but more importantly, dealing with the real issues facing our nation.
All right. John Adler, a Democrat from New Jersey. Sir, we thank you very much for joining us today to talk about Charlie Rangel, your colleague.
Always a pleasure. Thanks so much.
Thank you, sir.